Okay, so I had a comment the other day on this video, which was Raspberry Pi 4 running Ubuntu on an SSD drive with Reboot, and it works very well, but it could be better. And when I looked through the comments, I had a comment from T.B Martin, and I did see the previous comment that he left, and it was basically pointing me to an alternative way of installing Ubuntu. And I was thinking, well, I've got Reboot, and also I've done it on an SD card, just installing the desktop. But I didn't know that installing that desktop wasn't the best way of doing it, and it wasn't particularly tailored for the Raspberry Pi. So Wimpys World on YouTube, and this is a guy who actually works for Canonical, who are the publishers of Ubuntu. So obviously in the right place, and him and others are working on this version for the Pi 4. And they're also doing the same with Lubuntu and ubuntu-budgie and various different distros to put a desktop in it. And there may be, if we go to this official story here, there may be a proper desktop coming, but this version works really well, and I'll go through how to install it. You can obviously watch his videos, he goes into great detail. I just thought I'd do just the basics of how to install it, and let's show you what it looks like. So it looks the same as my other Ubuntu, but this one does come with a Snap Store, and it definitely is running faster, even though this is running from an SD card. I am overclocked to 2147, which is what I generally do anyway, but it definitely works better and it's quicker. And if I call up the terminal here, I've already checked, so this shows you it's running at 2147, and it's an 8 gig Pi, and you can see Ubuntu 20.04 LTS. So this would be my suggested way of installing a desktop into Ubuntu. Use this method instead of the methods that I've been using up until now, because this definitely works better. I did try it with Reboot, but it didn't seem to like it. So at the moment, I don't think there's USB support, although I could be wrong because I haven't tried just popping this in a USB stick or copying the image to an SSD drive. So that might be something worth looking at. Anyway, let's show you how to install it. Okay, so first of all, you need to have the Raspberry Pi imager, and you can download that from the official Raspberry Pi website, and I'll put a link in the description. And this works on a Mac, on Linux, and it also works on Windows as well. I didn't mean to click on that. So once you've downloaded it, here is Raspberry Pi imager. You need to pop your SD card in the computer, select Choose OS, select Ubuntu, select the image you want. I'm using the 64-bit 20.04 LTS, which is already cached, as you can see. Click on that. Click on the SD card that you need to write it to, and hit write. Okay, so that's finished. Now I'm not going to overclock for the purpose of this. I'll just eject my SD card and pop it in my Pi, and I'll show you what happens when you boot it up. Okay, so it's just starting up. This bit does take quite a while, and you need to wait until everything is finished, because sometimes if you press return too early, like this, or if you try and log in now, it's not actually ready for you to log in yet. It needs to do some more stuff, so you just need to wait until it's completely finished, then log in. I've switched over to my Pi 4 because there's loads of thunder and lightning and heavy rain at the moment, and I don't want to risk a lightning strike and losing my 8 gig Pi, as they're hard to come by, and I've got two 4 gig ones. See, that's the weird bit. You see, it said Ubuntu login. The login stayed up for ages, so it looks like you're supposed to log in, but actually it's still doing stuff. I don't know why it does that, but it always has. Okay, so I think this bit is the bit where it's finally finished. So hit enter, tap Ubuntu, and the password is Ubuntu. Then it's going to ask you to put that password in again, Ubuntu, and then create a new password, and then pop that in again and hit enter. Okay, so you need to type this bit in, git clone https://github.com/wimpysworld/desktopify.git. I messed out the S earlier on. So you can see cloning into Desktopify. If you get it asking you for a password, start the process again. I had it for some reason on one of mine, and it asked for a password and I couldn't get past it, so I reflashed the image and it worked fine. So now we need to do cd./desktopify Desktopify and enter. Sudo //desktopify -de space Ubuntu. And instead of Ubuntu at that point, you could have put anything else you wanted in. So you could put lubuntu, kubuntu, ubuntu-budgie, ubuntu-kylin, ubuntu-mate, ubuntu-studio, which is interesting because I couldn't get ubuntu-studio to work on taskcell. So that'll be interesting to see if that has now got the support for the Pi, because it looked like something I might be interested in. So at this stage you can see all the extra bits going in. So GNOME 3 from Canonical installed, GTK common themes from Canonical installed, set up Snap Store, and there's Bluetooth in there, which is interesting because Bluetooth wasn't enabled. I did have a tip in the comments of my previous video which did show how to do it, but it's nice to know that it just comes on and it's working. So I would imagine that's finished yet, so let's do reboot. Okay, so now on this screen, just click on Ubuntu and pop in the password that you created earlier. Now this weird graphical error happens on Ubuntu, and it happens on the other version as well. So every now and then you get it where the screen doesn't refresh properly. I don't know what it is, but once something launches or you open a new app, it usually clears it. And then you just get this normal, as you come into Ubuntu, and you can do location services or whichever way you want to do it, and then you're ready to go. So if I go into here, the thing that was different to the other Ubuntu that I had was that there was no App Store, and here you can see, oh, I switched past it, the Snap Store is there. So now we get to this stage, you don't need a wired connection and you can use Wi-Fi. And just to show that Bluetooth is working as well, where was Bluetooth? Under settings and Bluetooth, and it will detect my Bose speaker, and right at the bottom my Sony TV will usually come up. Okay, so great work. It's working really well, and it's definitely working a lot better than the other way that I installed Ubuntu before. The performance is much better, even not overclocked and running from an SD card. It's actually behaving much more like Raspbian, which from a speed point of view is great. Really good to see on the Pi. So the one thing I would like, if any of the team manages to get to see my video, the one thing that people are crying out for is the tearing issue on YouTube and various other video sites. The Raspberry Pi is terrible for tearing video. Now it did get fixed. There was a fix by disabling the xcomp manager, and that did work, but I don't think it works with the 64-bit version of Raspbian, and it doesn't seem to work with anything else that I've tried. But there is a very interesting blog by Vents, which is this one, and he managed to get the tearing fixed, and he installed a Chromium Media Center, which also supported things like Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, HBO, Spotify, and so on. It was a fix which is detailed here, but it'd be worth having a look at, because if you can add that to Ubuntu. All right, so thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe.